day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. God is good all the time, and all the time, God is good. Let's get into some praise early this morning. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Oh, man, Pastor Haynes.
Thank you.
For your goodness and your mercy.
Man, come on.
Man, I know you got a word this morning.
Oh, Rick, thanks. This song lets me know that the psalmist is right when the psalmist says, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. I need that because, you know, life happens, and when life happens, life can hurt. There are people who will come for you who you did not even send for, but the good news is we've got Secret Service agents. They're called goodness and mercy, and they follow us all the days of our lives. I love goodness because goodness is God's goodness showing up when people do us wrong. And so Joseph tells his brothers, you meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. There's a but God in the sentence of our situation. So when haters come for you, you can just throw but God at them, and but God will overrule their objective. But God will take the meanness that they intended for you and then somehow bless you in spite of what they did to you. And that's why Joseph could tell his brothers, y'all tried to take me out, but God meant it for good. So we have goodness as one of our Secret Service agents. That just lets you know God may not stop the bad from happening, but God can snatch some goodness out of that bad. Please recognize in this day as our hearts break for the George Floyd family, but check out what God did. George Floyd is a name known all over the world, and that name now is going to be associated with reforming policing, especially in this country, because God can take what is evil and somehow snatch good out of it, but not just goodness. Our other Secret Service agent is mercy. Mercy, the Bible says in Lamentations, because of your mercies, we are not wiped out. Because of your mercies, we are not consumed. It means because of God's mercy, we are still here. No wonder Langston Hughes wrote the poem, I've been scarred and battered. My hopes the wind done scattered. Snow has frizzed me. Sun has baked me. Looks like between them they done tried to make me stop laughing, stop loving, stop living. But I don't care because I'm still here. I hope you get that in spite of everything you've been through. The bottom line is you're still here. And if you've got a still here testimony, it means God ain't done, God ain't dead, God ain't through with you yet, and God is still up to something. So I'm glad I've got Secret Service agents, goodness and mercy, and they're following me all the days of my life. For your goodness and mercy, we offer praise.
There it is, Pastor Haynes. Love you. Let everybody know how you could be reached.
Hey, love you, Ricky. Thank you. Please follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram and Twitter at FH Unscripted. I'm on Facebook, Frederick D. Haynes, and I'm on YouTube, Frederick Haynes.
Yes, sir, y'all. Pastor Haynes, the senior pastor of Friendship West Missionary Baptist Church. Love you, Pastor Haynes.
Love you, Ricky. Thank you for this.
No, thank you. The segment is being brought to you by AARP. That's right, man. To celebrate Black Music Month, the Rickey Smiley Morning Show is giving you a chance to win $100. Make sure you click on RickeySmileyMorningShow.com/AARP to enter. Sponsored by AARP. All right, y'all. Time right now is 9 minutes. 9 minutes after the hour, y'all got your front page. Coming up next, here's Shanice. All right, y'all. Rickey Smiley Morning Show, 13 minutes after the hour, y'all. The front page news is being brought to you by America's Best. That's right. Your health is our priority. America's Best contacts and eyeglasses stores are now open to safely serve your vision needs. It's not just a better deal. It's America's Best. Eva, good morning.
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, everyone, and happy Wash Up Wednesday. I'm your girl, Eva Marcel, here with your front page news. Over 500 people attended the funeral service for George Floyd yesterday in Houston. Several celebrities were there, including Jamie Foxx, Neo, and Channing Tatum. Joe Biden and Al Sharpton called for racial justice, and Floyd's niece gave a very moving speech.
Your officer showed no remorse while watching my uncle's soul leave his body. He begged and pleaded many times just for you to get up but you just push harder. Why must this system be corrupt and broken? Laws were already put in place for the African American system to fail. And these laws need to be changed. No more hate crimes, please. Someone said make America great again, but when has America ever been great?
Well, at least not for us. That's for sure.
She said that. Well, House Democrats released their proposal for police reform on Monday, and now Senate Republicans have called upon the only black Republican in the Senate to lead their version of reform legislation. Meanwhile, after long lines and issues with voting machines yesterday in majority-minority counties, there will now be an investigation into voting problems in the state of Georgia. And last, I know we haven't talked...
What does that look like? Who's going to investigate them? Them? Is them going to investigate them? Who going to investigate the governor of Georgia? The feds ain't coming in because Donald Trump is the president of the United States. So you know it's not going to happen on a federal level. On a local level, who? How does that work, Kay? How
does he investigate the election when he stole his own election?
Absolutely. He was the Secretary of State and refused to recuse himself and oversaw the election between him and Stacey Abrams, and knocked off about 500,000 people off the voting.
Yeah, I think that was the number.
Right. Yeah.
So we got to deal with all of that on top of everything else.
Yeah, well, we shall see. That was a quick look at your headline news. For more front page stories, log on to the Rickey Smiley morningshow.com. Rock T, what's going on with Russell Westbrook in sports?
Man, he's about to get ready to do something big. He will be producing a new docuseries about the 1921 Tulsa race massacre titled Terror in Tulsa, The Rise and Fall of Black Wall Street, man. I'm excited about this one to tell this story in the docuseries. So look out. He's teaming up with some heavy hitters out there in Hollywood. In the meantime, NASCAR star Bubba Wallace, the only African-American driver at NASCAR's highest level, is calling for an official ban on Confederate flags at all racetracks. He's also going to be introducing his new Black Lives Matter paint job on his race car, which also includes a black and white hand interlocking on the hood of the car. So big up to Bubba Wallace out there. In the meantime,
try to run over him.
Hey, man, it is what it is. You got to stand up, baby.
I guess
you got to stand up. Gary, with the T, what you got there, player?
All right, y'all. Everybody's talking about it, y'all. Now, they're saying, y'all, as protesters y'all rally together to march on in cities across the country and world, y'all, they're saying that some fans are wondering, y'all, what their favorite stars would say or do. And people saying, y'all, that you probably won't see Beyonce and Jay-Z, y'all, marching in the streets, but they are still activists, y'all, which, you know, we all know that Beyonce and Jay-Z are still, you know, doing their thing behind the scene or whatever. But a lot of people are saying, y'all, we want them to be out in the streets, y'all. But they're saying that a couple of y'all are, you know, doing films and shedding light on injustice projects and different things, you know, for the people. And people just got to realize, y'all, that the Carters aren't fazed by those critical of how they participate in social justice movements. But, y'all, there are some fans, y'all, who are disappointed in them not being on the ground like Kendrick Lamar, Ariana Grande, or Kalani. Should they be out there protesting? Because they're saying if they go out and protest, it's going to cause a big confusion. Just like the reason why President Obama and some of the other dignitaries didn't attend the funeral yesterday, because it would be too much.
The thing is Gary, your ability to protest looks different in everyone. And yesterday we're talking with Dr. Springs and about that. The way you protest, a lot of us, the way we protested was getting up and standing in a line for 3.5 hours in heat with a mask on, voting. You know what I'm saying? It's what you post on Instagram. It's what you do and the way you act in a day-to-day basis. So what they do does not have to look like what everyone else does. Jay-Z is not Tamika Mallory. That's not his job.
Yeah, that's true. So we're going to see what Jay-Z and Beyonce continue doing, because they're doing what they need to do. All right, the color today, y'all, is Blossom. On the high end, you say Blossom, and on the low end, you say Beautiful Pink. Now, Brad, who voted for the first time?
I'm going to tell you, coming up in the hot spot, it's the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
That's right. Do what you need to do for that dry skin. Hey, 29. It felt like it. And it's right. Dry skin. If you got dry skin.
It's a struggle, Ricky.
Good morning, Brad. What you got in the hot spot?
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, everybody. I'm your girl, Brad Tat, and this is the Hot Spot, where we bring you music, movies, and more. So let's get off into this thing. Offset, y'all. Offset voted for the first time yesterday in the primary elections in Atlanta. He posted a video to Instagram and said, "I feel good. I feel proud. I'm trying to make a difference. So I came out in my state, Atlanta, Georgia." He said, "Go vote. Come hit up the polls." He said, "My first time ever voting because I wasn't allowed. I overcame this obstacle and decided to make a real difference. Everybody, please go vote today. Last day, I just voted. My first time, 28 years old. I got my past record, my past history, and I'm able to vote." He said, because he wasn't able to vote during past his convictions in the past. So congratulations to Offset. I know he feels amazing being able to finally vote when he was told that he couldn't. All right, y'all, moving on. Our show. Do y'all love Cops? I don't even watch it. It used to be good back in the day, but it ain't gonna work out right about now. Anyway,
You ever saw the episode of Cops when the old black lady was in the kitchen and she had the Holy Ghost and she wouldn't stop shouting to the neighbors, called the police, and she was so full of the Spirit she would not stop shouting.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Brad, I swear, Gary, you remember I showed you that?
Yes.
She was sitting at that table, she was praising God. She had been shouting since 12 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning. The Spirit was in her. She would not stop shouting. And the black police thought he was patting her on the back. He was trying to calm her down. She said, "I can't get calm because Jesus is so good." Let me find it on YouTube. I'll send it to your
please
phone.
send it to me. All right, the Paramount Network has officially pulled a plug on Cops amid the uproar and protests against the recent cases of police brutality happening in our country. A spokesperson from Paramount Network released a statement saying Cops is not on the Paramount Network and we don't have any current or future plans for it to return. The 33rd season of the show was scheduled to premiere on Monday, June 8th, but no episode has aired on Paramount Network since June 1st, when protests against police brutality and in support of Black Lives Matter movement proceeded across the country.
Well, you know what happened, Brett? They were doing an episode of the Cops, and they was in this pursuit, and this guy was just doing the cop was doing a little too much and killed the guy.
What?
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. Yeah, right, Kay?
Yeah, that was Live PD.
Oh, okay.
It was Live PD, which is another version of Cops.
But stuff like that where the cops being extra trying to entertain a viewing audience, and they just doing the most, and it's I don't know, it's just turning them, and it's not.
Wow. So they canceling all of them. It looks like all the cop shows. Oof. All right, y'all. To get caught up on those stories and more, you can go to RickySmileyMorningShow.com. I'm your girl, Brad Tat. Coming up next, we got Rock T's HBC, And in the meantime, in between time, hit us up for them wake-up calls. Time right now is 27 minutes before the top of the hour. It's the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
HBC,
Oh, yeah, baby. Rock Teasy in the house. Oh, you know we gonna always stop the press and highlight, showcase, and recognize our heroes and sheroes that attended or currently attend our phenomenal historically black colleges and universities. Holla at your boy. Let's see what I'm gonna put in my GPS this time. You know what I'm saying? Let's head on down to H-Town, Houston, Texas. We gonna visit Texas Southern University, home of them TSU Tigers. Also home of the Ocean of Soul marching band. Shout out to the motion of the ocean dancers in the house. You already know they puts it down. Let's talk about one of y'all's graduates of TSU. Former NFL pro football player who played his entire career with the New York Giants. Set the record for the most sacks in a season in 2001. Helping the New York Giants defeat the undefeated New England Patriots to win the Super Bowl. Elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2014. After retiring from football, he became a television media personality. Football analyst on Fox NFL Sunday. Co-host of Good Morning America. He won a Daytime Emmy Award as co-host of Live with Kelly and Michael. Oh, I just gave you a hint. Y'all know I'm talking about Michael Strahan. And oh, by the way, he launched a men's clothing line exclusively through JCPenney, one of Texas Southern University's very own, the homie Michael Strahan. If you didn't know, now you know. If you want me to highlight your favorite HBCU, hit me up on my social media platforms at Rock T Holla. Let's get it.
HBCU,
All
right, y'all, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Hey, coming up next, man, we got the one and only Dr. MJ Conley giving us some brand new COVID-19 updates. Call him right now. The phone lines are open, 866-9-RICKY, 866-9-RICKEY, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. All right, y'all, Rickey Smiley Morning Show, 14 before the top of the hour. Yeah, we got the one and only Dr. MJ Conley on with us this morning. Dr. Conley, good morning.
Good morning, Rickey Smiley, and all the morning show listeners. It's time for your coronavirus update, and we have some great information for you. We're going to tackle a couple of topics here, Ricky. One, the number of cases now is 2.02 million. The number of recovered individuals are 602,000. The number of deaths are 114,000. Remember, the 100,000 mark was just celebrated a week ago, and now we are up to 114,000. That was basically another 1,000 deaths in the last 24 hours. So we're seeing an increase in the infection rates in 21 states, although overall the rates are going down, but in 21 states they are going up. And some of the pushback that we're getting is they're saying, well, we're doing increased testing, so that's why the numbers are going up. But we're also getting an increase in hospitalizations. That means that these are true increases and not just increases due to our increased testing capability, but that the virus is still there and still infecting a lot of people. So there was also some discussion yesterday about some of the things that had been said by the World Health Organization. But let's be clear, 1/3 of the infections are asymptomatic people that get infected. Up to 1/3 don't even know they have it, and so that means they're spreading it. And up to 40% of transmission happens before a person that does have it becomes symptomatic. So you look at those numbers, so that means over half of the people that have it and are carrying it are sharing it with other people, and they're not doing it intentionally. They have no idea that they have it because they're not having any symptoms. I've spoken with you and told you that I'm testing individuals in my office for the antibodies, and that confirms that they have had infection. And I have had probably at least 1/3 of those individuals who had no symptoms, denied any exposure that they were aware of, yet they tested positive for the antibodies, which showed that they did have exposure and the disease.
Let me ask you something real quick. Is that a different kind of coronavirus, like if somebody had it, or it's the same virus that's killing people?
No, it's the same virus that's killing people. But remember, you have 80% of people who will get the infection and get over it. So it's the same one. And then you have 10% of people that have a bad case and may even have to be hospitalized. And then 5 to 10% of people are going to die from it. So it's the same virus. It's just that people will respond differently depending upon the quality and capability of their immune function. And the people that have strong immune systems, they're going to fight it off. They may not even be aware that they had it. And that's where we want everybody to be. We want everybody's immune system to be boosted. And that's where they are.
So asymptomatic is like having herpes, but you ain't got no blisters around your lips.
That's a great correlation. Those symptoms, but you do have it. And they always say, I've never had it on my lips. They never talk about that, having blisters down below the belt line. They say, oh, no, I've never had any people blisters on my lips. But, it happens. And there are cases of people that have done that as well. So keeping it medically correct, that's true. Now, look, the National Guards have been deployed. There were about 5,000 in Washington, D.C. from 11 states. And they have had individuals from the National Guard that have tested positive for the coronavirus. Now, supposedly, everybody that was deployed was tested before they were deployed, and they were negative before they were allowed to go and be deployed. So that means that they did contact the virus while they were on active duty and dealing with people that were protesting. So we now have multiple cases. They don't know what the number is because they won't release that. But those individuals now, they're going to be extended for at least another 14 days to get through a quarantine period. But some of these people have been sent home already to 11 different states. And so they're supposed to self-report if they develop symptoms. But I just told you 1/3 of people have no symptoms. So those individuals can take the virus back from Washington, D.C. to wherever their home states are, and there are 11 states that they're doing it, and spread the virus around. So we're really going to see. So what has been predicted has happened. People that have been protesting have now, we have documented infections in people that were National Guard members. Now, you saw people, and some of the National Guard did have on protective equipment, but a lot of them did not have on anything, including masks. So they were increased susceptibility. That's where we are with that, Ricky.
Well, if you want to talk to Dr. MJ Conley, you can call right now, 866. If you have any questions, call with your questions, 866-9-RICKEY. Dr. Conley's topic for today is just because they don't come out don't mean you don't have roaches. More Rickey Smiley Morning Show coming up. All right, y'all, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Hey, we got the one and only Dr. MJ Collier on with us. Dr. Collier, thank you for joining us this morning. We're taking your phone call. Let's go right to the phone. We're talking about COVID-19. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Good morning. You're on with Dr. MJ Collier.
Thing, sucking that hot air, breathing the hot air. You put the hot air to your nose and breathing the hot air. And does that kill the virus if you have it?
I've seen that mythology being perpetuated on social media as well as other sources on the internet. No, that is not true. Otherwise, places where it is warm, like Brazil, would not have the number of cases that they have. So putting the blow dryer, is not going to help kill the virus. So the best thing to do is protect yourself. Don't touch your nose, mouth, or face. Cover your eyes. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. And social distancing. That's what you need to do and boost your immune system.
All right, y'all, with Dr. MJ Collier. Good morning.
My question is, I've seen on articles about COVID virus being found in semen, so I'm just wondering if that's true and if they've decided if this is a sexually transmitted disease.
That is absolutely correct. We spoke about that months ago, but yes, it has been found in semen, and it's probably in vaginal fluids as well. It probably can be detected in any body fluid that you secrete. It has been found in tears. So everything from tears to semen. It's just that the amount that you have, that question is that enough to give you an infection? But it is there, so the possibility of infection does exist, which means that it could be transmitted sexually. So the recommendation was for individuals that were infected, particularly men, to practice safe sex until they were through the quarantine period.
Gonna get a rubber and wrap up in some plastic. All right, you on with Dr. MJ Collier, good morning.
I want to know, if you don't have the symptoms of the coronavirus and you are indeed spreading it, how do you know when you are over the coronavirus, if you did have it?
Well, if you don't know that you have it, you won't know that you're over it. You'll go through the entire thing, and probably after about 2 weeks of having it, your body's immune system is obviously doing a good job of fighting it. So you should, at that point, test positive for the antibodies and have some level of immunity. So that would be where you would be with that. So you won't know that you had it, you won't know that you've gone through it, and you won't know whether you passed it to anyone. That is the problem that we're having now, and that's why it's being spread so much in the community.
All right, y'all, with Dr. MJ Collier. Good morning.
Thank you so much. I was tested on May the 5th, and my IgG levels were negative. And so now that I'm trying to get ready to go back to work, I'm wondering, do I need to get another test? And I'm just wondering, is there a time period to wait and get another test, or how often should you get the testing done for the antibodies and the COVID-19 testing?
Okay, very good question. One, the antigen test, the nasal swab that you're so familiar with, that you have seen on television and on social media, that test is for the antigen. When you're testing for the antigen, that determines whether you actually have infection at that time. After you have gone through infection, hopefully your body has made antibodies. That is the IgG, that's immune globulin G, which is the great antibody, gives you long-term protection. There's a shorter acting antibody, IgM, that shows where you are along the spectrum of infection. So you'll get IgM immediately, and that builds up, and then it disappears, and then your body should make IgG. So if you tested negative for the antibody, it means you may not have ever been exposed and may not have the disease, and that makes you more susceptible to exposure. I would test again as often as every 14 days to see if you have the IgG antibody. That means that you had the infection, your body has cleared the infection, and now you should have some level of immunity.
All right, if everybody if you take these vitamins every single day, if you do catch COVID-19, you probably would definitely your body would flush it out and build those. Your immune system just so high, your body would fight it off. And if you want to find out which vitamins you need to be taking, Dr. Collier, give them your website.
Lipodrops, LIPODROPS.com, lipodrops.com. We're getting great success with boosting the immune system using omega-3 fish oil, probiotics, vitamin D, and we have another product now called Lipoimmune that has zinc, vitamin C, and elderberry extract. Elderberry extract. Okay.
Hey, Dr. Collier, I appreciate you, man. Member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, founded in 1906. Graduate of Morehouse College, but go on to your disclaimer.
Okay, these are the opinions of Dr. MJ Collier and only Dr. MJ Collier, and not the opinions of the Rickey Smiley Morning Show or its radio affiliates. So I always check with your own provider to get your own personal healthcare information. This is not meant to diagnose or treat any disease.
There it is. Hey, thank you, Dr. Carly. Gary got the tea and the Kahlua today. Coming up next, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Rickey Smiley Morning Show, 8 minutes after the hour. Gary has the tea and the Kahlua today. What up, Gary?
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, America. Good morning to you. It's Tuesday or Wednesday? Wednesday, a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and here's what's happening in celebrity news, y'all. Everybody, Twitter people and all these other people in the world are dragging this poor young lady by the name of B. Simone. Now, Evie, y'all, what is B. Simone's claim to fame? Because I know she's from Dallas.
She's a comedian.
She's a stand-up comedian. She's one of my mentees.
B. Simone is a comedian?
She's hilarious.
B. Simone is a comedian. She's one of my mentees, and she traveled with us. She's on the Martin Lawrence tour. We tour together. Martin Lawrence tour, Mike Epps tour. So we do shows with D-Ray. Yeah. And she's from Dallas.
Yeah, from Dallas and from Wild Night. Exactly. Well, people are dragging this child through the mud. They say, girl, honey, because she said, honey, she just would not date a man that works 9 to 5. She said she don't want no 9 to 5 man. She was talking about the type of man that she wanted, somebody that's a hustler, like an entrepreneur, what have you, and stuff. And people say, well, girl, how you gonna sit and how about you don't want no 9 to 5 man? Hell, you was just living in your car yesterday. So
well, she dated who she wanted to date.
That's what I thought, but they say no, honey.
They dragging her because she don't want to date nobody that work 9 to 5.
Yeah, they said
Well, that's whatever works for her. That's her decision. That's her choice.
I mean, she works.
Yeah, but we put that in the
Ricky told you, she's in the comedy shows. Yeah, but she's at comedy clubs. So men that lead regular lives oftentimes do not understand, a woman that leads the kind of life she lives.
And that's what was kind of said. But the people on Twitter was upset with her, honey. They trying to drag the girl, saying you can't
drag her because she want a man that got his own business and can travel with her and be with her or whatever. Then that's what what I'm saying. That's her choice.
Yeah,
what works for her.
Well, we need to get her to talk about that because, honey, I feel bad because, they just really ate a lunch. I'm like, my God.
You can't have opinion on nothing nowadays. You can't say nothing.
Not this year, honey. You got to wait till
next year.
And I can see if it's having an effect on other people. This has no effect on no one but her. So what you mad for?
Well, because they said because when she was living in a car, she said.
It has nothing to do with anything.
So what?
Has nothing to do with anything.
We just got to pray for B. Simone. We need to call her because that ain't right. But nevertheless, people say, honey, girl, you can't say that.
She good.
Yes, she can.
All right, honey. Moving on then. In other celebrity news, y'all, Miss Ryan Destiny, y'all, she done called our baby Lee Daniels, honey, for for unmutiny movement. Now, Miss Ryan, back in 2017, now, y'all recall, director Lee Daniels, y'all, he famously told Ebony Magazine that he purposely, y'all, made the honey lead character on his series show star a white girl. He said because he wanted white people to feel good about being white because there's a lot of hatred going on. Now they're saying in totally unrelated news, y'all, honey, the former star, honey, of Star Baby castmate Miss Ryan Destiny recalls, honey, being discriminated against by her own people, y'all. And a lot of people are talking about that later. Now she put in a post on Instagram in solidarity with the Unmutiny, honey, movement. Ryan's, whose biggest role, y'all, to date has been, honey, working on Star. She speaks out about the systemic, honey, racism in the entertainment and the ways black entertainers are, being silenced and what have you. And it's a very long story. I can't give it all to you, but she said, this message out to my fellow black sisters in particular. She said, now this goes, honey, for any career or work or, y'all, of space, but she wanted to say that she's speaking from her own experiences, y'all. Now, she said, honey, when you enter in Hollywood in any form or plan, you be sure to point some experiences out of racism, colorism, microaggression, honey, even if sometimes it's sadly by your own people, y'all. And, a lot of people saying that a lot of African Americans are discriminated against their own people, whatever and stuff. But people still were kind of questioning that situation when Lee Daniels did make the star a white person and had all other black people around him and stuff. And, honey, Ryan said, a lot of stuff went down and stuff. And she said you were taught to be silent. Don't say nothing because if you say something, you're scared you're going to lose your job or what have you, which we all know that. And she said, it just was really not really a good thing. But she said she wants you to, young ladies in particular, when you're going to Hollywood, you're going for these jobs, honey, speak up. Don't be scared, she said. Say what you have to say, honey, and be yourselves and what have you. So, hopefully, there's no backlash on it because I haven't heard from Ryan since Star. But, she's telling you, sometimes, these big time producers get you, honey, to blackball you and you won't work again. So, I guess she's feeling comfortable to speak out and say what she has to say. So, congratulations out to Ryan. Do y'all know Ryan? I mean, didn't you work with Ryan before?
Yeah, I've worked with her before. She's a beautiful girl. She's the one that played Naomi Campbell's daughter and looks like she could be Naomi Campbell's child.
Right.
She's absolutely gorgeous. But you know what? I think she's absolutely right. It's one of those things where we're so fortunate to have the jobs that we have, you know, where we don't speak up in certain areas in fear of losing that job. And we don't speak up in areas where it's necessary to make some kind of a change.
Yeah, she said, quote, she said, it's easy, honey, to stay silent. She said, because we've all seen what happened when black people hold people accountable. She said, we're the problem, honey. We lose deals. So there you have it. All right, the color today is one of my favorite colors. My color today, y'all, is Blossom. On the high end, you say Blossom, and on the low end, you say Beautiful Pink. That's your color for today.
Hey, we got your wake-up calls. Get at me. Phone lines are wide open. 866-9-RICKEY. Call me right now. Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
Sandra, I'm calling from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Calling to wake my children, Shamaya Blake out of Houston, Rashania Blake out of Arkansas, and Christopher Blake out of Baton Rouge. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Wake up from Louisville, Kentucky. Black Lives Matter. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
This is Terrence Carlson from Orlando, Florida, wishing my mother and my siblings a blessed day. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
My name is Wanda, calling from Raleigh, North Carolina, and I want to tell all my essential workers out there, wake up, wake up, wake up. Good morning. I want to wake up Nakendra Tillman. Wake up, girl. It's time to get this job going. Come on.
Gang of city tuned in like
Come on.
What's yours? Because we gon' let them know. Where you waking up for? Wake up.
Hey.
In Birmingham, wake up. Oklahoma, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. St. Louisville, wake up. New Orleans, wake up. Hey, Memphis, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
All right. Hey, appreciate it, Brett.
You welcome.
26 minutes after the hour, y'all, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Got the chicken and waffle mix coming up. You don't want to miss it. And your front page, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. All right, y'all, ladies and gentlemen, we got church in 60 seconds, man. I'm talking about, man, the quickest church service ever in history. Church in 60 seconds with the one and only Pastor Fred. Pastor Fred, good morning.
Raindrops keep falling on my head. Just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed. Nothing seems to fit. Those raindrops keep falling on my head. They keep falling. Saints and ain'ts.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Those that can and those that can't.
You better preach this morning.
My brothers and sisters, I tell you, I feel good this morning because I realized something that you got to have rain in your life.
Come on now.
To appreciate the sun shine. I said that one more time. You got to have a rain in your life to appreciate the sunshine. Brothers and sisters, we need the rain. I was eating a T-bone steak on yesterday, and I realized if it wasn't for the rain, the cows wouldn't have grass to eat. We don't need cows that look like little Luther. We need big Luther cows. So we need some big Luther cows so we can have big T-bone steaks.
That's right.
Horses need grass to eat. We need the rain. Some folk wouldn't bathe if it wasn't for the rain. You need rain down on me. The rain fall on me. We need the rain. Let it rain. Let it rain.
Come on now.
Open the floodgates of heaven and let it rain. Somebody get me an umbrella.
Brett, don't you love this church?
Yeah.
And we are out already. Ladies and gentlemen, church in 60 seconds with Pastor Fred.
Man.
Brought to you by My Computer Career. That's right, man. If you don't absolutely love what you do, go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today and become an information technology professional in as little as 4 months. That's mycomputercareer.edu. All right, y'all, chicken and waffle mix going down. Up next, John Lane on the ones and twos. We're going to see where Black Tony talking about. Coming up, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. John, did he hang up? Hell no. Gonna throw in a good mix like that and then gonna hang up the phone. All right, y'all. Black Tony, what's up?
Cuz I'm going through it right now, boy.
Well, you going through it every day. Don't bring the show down to everybody in a good mood. It's Wednesday. We in the middle of the week, bruh.
But my whole life done went to hell since I've been messing with you, Shawty. I just realized that, Shawty. Everything, all my bad looks, Shawty. I trace it back. Messing with your... But
hold on. What's your life got to do with me? Trying to get you to come to work?
Cause Shawty, ever since you made me famous, Shawty, now I'm just like, I'm dealing with all this stuff, Shawty, keep happening. I keep having bad looks, Shawty. I'm laying up here, Shawty, my whole chest, my whole half of my chest done went to sleep, Shawty. I got this big ass girl laying up on me, snoring, Shawty, won't even get up.
Okay, didn't nobody hold a gun to your head and tell you to get with her?
I went out with her because she rich. She rich. She just hit a scratch out ticket for like 40,000. And I went out with her.
40,000? You said she rich.
She came over to the crib, yo. She came over to the crib. You know what I'm saying? She partnered with my cousin. You know what I'm saying? She my cousin friend. She came over here because everybody, how the chick want to give Black Tony. But look, I need to get a lawyer. I need a lawyer. For real.
A lawyer for what?
I want to put a lawsuit on this chick, Shot. I'm finna take all that money. I'm finna put a lawsuit on her, Shot.
40,000? You gonna spend 40,000 to get you 40,000?
She done came over here and got drunk and went to sleep, Shot. Done scratched out my down because she got a big ass head too, Shot. She got a big ass head.
Yeah, man. You don't let them lay on your chest more than 10 minutes. Then you gonna have to roll over after that because they head, women's head look light, but women's head be heavy.
I done tried to wake this girl up, Shot. I ain't trying to catch no case, but
slide out from up under.
Shot, I can't slide out from one point. She laying across me, Shot, and she won't get her. I told her.
Laying across you how?
She got her head on me. She got a big ass leg on me too, Shot. I told her I gotta go to work in the morning. I can't be. Hey, I need you to call her husband and tell her husband to put a lawsuit on this chick, Shot.
Right, on certain women.
I need to know, Shot.
It's certain women you can't cuddle with because they don't have sense enough to roll over. They go into a deep sleep.
That's what I'm talking about. She gonna put on one of my t-shirts, gonna bust shit, man. Shot gonna scratch the whole V-neck out on my t-shirt with a big ass head.
Is it jogging?
She didn't even give me nothing.
You ain't hit? You sitting up there, you cuddling, you ain't even smash?
Tell my son don't be like that. So, man, who do that?
But she laying up. Oh, you lost.
I took her out to eat, buddy.
Boy, you took an L. You done took a whole L, Black Tony. You could have had somebody else, man. You done wasted your time. And she laying up on.
And won't get up, dog.
When we get over here, get somewhere and sit down. Don't talk to me. Don't look at me. Don't think about me because I'm grown. I'm going to be with the grown folks. You go be with the kids. Understand this. When I say it's time to go, it's time to go. Don't ask can you stay the night. You cannot. Don't ask can they come back over here and stay the night. They cannot. Don't get over here acting like you hungry, like you ain't ate all day. If you do, I'm going to knock fire out of your throat. Don't touch nothing. Don't break nothing. Don't ask for nothing to drink. Don't ask for nothing to eat. Lisa Ann already think her kids is better than everybody else, and they are not. If one of them touch you, you better knock their head off their shoulder. Don't come in there tattling to me about what you think, what you want, and how you feel. When we get ready to go, I tell you how you feel. Is everybody on the same page? Don't play with me. Is y'all ready to go? Don't. Okay, let's go.
Don't go over there acting like you hungry.
When she throw that little at the end of it.
Yes,
sir. Everything. Okay.
Listen, my grandma.
She got that cigarette hanging out her mouth while she talking.
My grandmama trained us, man. When we go over somebody else's house, they offer you something to eat. Said no, thank you. I've already eaten. Yeah, I mean, you have to say it the right way. No, thank you. I've already eaten. Yeah. I have already eaten. My grandma said that.
Play that.
Lisa, kids think they better than us. They are not. Knock the
I can't get enough. I can play.
And
I
don't
can play
ask
that
me,
all
can you
day.
spend the night? You cannot.
You cannot.
Not.
Boy, she is the prime example of boundaries. I love it, man. All right, y'all. Gary got the tea of the glue today. Coming up next. What you got, Gary?
Coming up next, y'all, you better know what you say and say what you know, honey. We're going to talk about who did not next. Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
Who did not? All right, Rickey Smiley Morning Show, 7 minutes after the hour. Gary has the tea and the clue of the day. What up, Gary?
All right, Ricky, remember now, you cannot vote unless you're registered. Now, if you need to find more information about how, when, and where to vote, please visit news1.com/vote. Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, America. Good morning, you. It's Wednesday, a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and here's what's happening in celebrity news, y'all. Ricky's a very sad day, y'all, for Neo. I don't know if y'all heard the shocking news. A lot of people saying it might be turning in their Neo records and albums because of what happened yesterday. But we do know, y'all, that we're living, honey, in sensitive times, y'all. And they're saying, y'all, that Neo learned that lesson the hard way after he referred to George Floyd's death as a sacrifice while speaking at his funeral. Now, Neo said this: 50 states are protesting at the same time. This man changed the world. He said, I just want to thank George Floyd for the sacrifice so my kids can be all right. I appreciate the sacrifice. I really do. Unquote.
What was wrong with what he said?
I mean, I think it was just an awkward choice of words, but he's not
You don't think it was? It was.
He's not a public speaker, so in a moment like that, I mean, what?
And I think everyone can appreciate what he was saying that man's life, though as senseless as it was and unnecessary, it will help so many others. Like his daughter said, my daddy saved the world, changed the world. Right. So that's what he was trying to say.
Well, everybody ain't gonna find the right words in those moments.
Well, Twitter, people are very upset about it, and
what was exactly he said that people got offended with part?
He said that George Floyd's sacrifice for the world, and it wasn't a sacrifice. Is more like a lamb sacrificing itself for a wolf.
It's something that
it's more in the wording that he had to die in order for things to get moving the way. Yeah,
right.
That's what he meant.
But they didn't say nothing about that song he sang and brought his family out there. They didn't say nothing bad about that.
No, but the Twitter.
But see, the thing about it is, man, as black folks, people heart, and you know what they mean when they say.
Yeah, right.
It's all everybody get mad when you don't say things exactly the right way when you know damn well what that person meant. Yeah, like you know how somebody be talking to you, be like, okay, I get it. He didn't say it right, but I feel you. I know what you mean.
Exactly.
I know your heart.
We
I know
do it
your
all the
heart
time on the show.
Absolutely.
But people are really critical about it. Some people say he should have had a cue card or had his publicist to write out his speech because he's a millionaire, and that's what publicists are for, to write out your speeches when you go up to speak during situations like this.
He was going to sing, and I just think he wanted to say something right before he sang. I mean, it was a tough moment. It was a deep moment. Like, I'm sure he was nervous.
Yeah,
and he broke down a couple of times while singing the song.
Yeah, but they would say because he said sacrifice, but I don't know. But nevertheless,
you just can't say nothing.
Let all them people on Twitter get up in front of millions of people and speak and see how they do.
Yeah,
exactly.
We just have to pray, y'all. That's all I can say we could do. All right, moving on. In other celebrity news, y'all, they're saying, honey, during these times, y'all, Hollywood actor Shamar Moore, y'all, he wants you to know that not only is he a proud black man, but he's also a proud white man. He said, I am half black and I am half white, but I'm proud to be black and I'm also proud to be white. He said, now I understand what it is to be treated like a Negro, but he used the other word, when I don't have my fame and when I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time and nobody knows who I am. He said during a recent LA protest, he said, that's, honey, just a Negro in the street, he explained. And he went on to say that he's been thrown down on the sidewalk before, and he understands what it's been like. And he said he haven't gone through with George Floyd's situation, but he said he have not gone through that, but he said he do know what it is, and he said he's not going to denounce the other side of him because he's looking at humanity. Should he denounce being white because he looks black when he's in the public, or should he continue saying his mom, because his mama was white and his dad was of African descent and stuff? So, I mean, should he? I mean, because, people say when they see you, you got 1 ounce of black in you, you are considered as black, but he said he's not going to denounce the white side of it. Should he denounce it, or should he?
Well, he doesn't have to deny it, but I don't think being half white makes you not black. I mean, he has a white parent, but he's still a black man, period.
Yeah, but then he's not claiming his white side, though. His white mama could feel offended.
Well, that's the thing about being black. We are mixed up with things we didn't choose. We came through the slave trade and was raped. So we're mixed with all kind of things. But that's what being black is of African descent.
Did somebody ask him that? Why he came out and said that?
Well, because I guess about George Floyd, I guess, and he just wanted to let people know that, he's still he black and white. And Michael Jackson said it doesn't matter.
We know that.
He seems like he said too much, don't he, Rick?
We know that that's not the time. It's not a lot of things, man. It's just timing, and it's a lot of things that people want to say. But the question becomes: is it the right time to say that?
Sometimes it's okay to just be quiet.
It is.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, because you bring a lot of heat to yourself. You have a right, but it's just right now. I don't know.
The color today is blossom. On the hand, you say blossom, and on the lunge, you say beautiful pink. That's your color for today.
Y'all give it up for Gary with the T. All right, y'all, 12 minutes after the hour, y'all. And yesterday, George Floyd was laid to rest by family and loved ones in Houston. And now as we continue the pursuit of justice in his death, do y'all think that former police officer Derek Chauvin would get his second-degree murder charges increased? So we got Benjamin Crump on the phone. Attorney Crump, good morning.
Good morning, Frat. How you doing?
What's up with the Q's, man? Good morning, man. I appreciate you coming on this morning. I got two questions to ask you. Before you answer that question about George Floyd, what's really bothering me, keeping me up at night, the Breonna Taylor case. I know that the charges was dismissed from a boyfriend shooting back at the police. Would those officers be charged or anything done about it? Or have they been fired? Where are we at with that? And where's that going to go? 'Cause that's bothering me.
Hey, Fred, I'm so happy you asked that question because right now I'm in Washington, D.C. about to testify before the United States Congress with Philonise Floyd, George Floyd's brother. And I don't want people to forget about Breonna Taylor. I will be flying from D.C. tonight, going to Louisville, Kentucky tomorrow to be with her mother because we're going before the Louisville Metropolitan City Commission, and we're going to be arguing for them to pass the Breonna Taylor law, which would mean that they have no more no-knock warrants, where 80% of them were being used on black people, knocking in our doors, not identifying themselves, and then if we move a certain way, shooting us. So, Ricky, you asked a specific question, are these officers going to be charged? We have to make sure that we keep the pressure on. There is no video. So it's literally the officer's word against Kenny Walker's words. And because Breonna isn't here to talk for herself because they shot her 8 times and killed her in her underwear. And so in Louisville, I'll have more updates for you because I'm going to spend the whole day in Louisville tomorrow talking with the city councilman, probably meeting with the mayor, demanding they fire these officers, number one, and then the black attorney general, who's a Republican in Kentucky, is over the case now. So we got to put pressure on him to go ahead and charge these murderers of Breonna Taylor.
Because Ben, like real talk, dog. After all of this, we buried George Floyd yesterday. Everybody need to be on the way to Louisville, Kentucky. Like you got all this stuff. You got Mitch McConnell running. We need to make sure everybody in Louisville, Kentucky, is registered to vote. And we need to make sure that these officers not only are fired but arrested, because it's like what laws are in place that will allow them to go in there and kill someone and nothing be done about it. Not even them losing their job. What they say? My bad. I made a mistake. She's dead.
You said something deep, Ricky. We do need to have a rally in Louisville, Kentucky for Breonna Taylor. We've had rallies for George Floyd. We've had rallies for Ahmaud Arbery. Now we need to have a rally for our sister, Breonna Taylor.
Absolutely.
We have all America. Since the quarantine was preventing stuff now, but we see from George Floyd, we all coming together for him. We can come together for Breonna Taylor.
Hey,
I'm gonna start that, Ricky. You put that in my mind. We're gonna get a rally there.
Hey Ben, hold on. I'm gonna call you back. I'm thinking we on the cell phone. 16.
I hear you.
You know, because we be on the phone. We talk on the phone all the time, and you know how we do. I got just talking to you because this is what we do on the phone in the evening time when he on his way to the airport. We get on the phone and we argue at least once or twice a week. Because I be mad and
you give me good advice, Ricky.
Right, hey man, I tried to, man. I'm just trying to be a good bro. 16 minutes after the hour, y'all. More with attorney Ben Crump up next. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. All right, y'all, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to welcome back to the show. I'm so excited. President of the nonprofit organization, is Repairers of.
That's right.
I apologize. Repairers of the Breach and co-chair of the Poor People's Campaign, Bishop William J. Barber II. Hey, thank you so much for coming on. You're going to be a guest panelist on tonight. So the question that I have to start out with, like, where do we go from here? Because part 2 airs tonight. What was the most beneficial thing to come out of part 1 from last night? And good morning.
Rickey, first of all, thank you for having me on. You know, we really started talking about how do we turn the marching and the mourning into the mandate, into policy, because this is, serious business. Now, Dr. King one time said, a law may not make you love me, but it'll keep you from lynching me. And so there's some that want to talk about, how do we love each other on a personal basis, but we need to talk about policy. And that's what folk we're dealing with on the part 1, and we'll do more of that on part 2. We've had this bill now in Congress, which is a good first step, things they're talking about. But we also talked about, in reality, we need a federal law that says if an officer of the law kills or abuses someone with discriminatory intent, they can be tried for murder under federal law. Now, the reason one of the reasons we say that is because way back, the Klan and others used to kill people because they knew that you could only try somebody for murder at the state level. They felt like they would never get convicted in the South, and so they did things almost as though, we don't have to worry about anything happening to us. We need folks to know, if you do this, there's going to be apprehension, there's going to be a trial, there's going to be conviction, and there's going to be incarceration.
Bishop Barber, I have to ask you this, all this stuff that's going on, and being a prominent man of the cloth, have any white evangelicals that put Trump in office based off abortion and gay marriage, have anybody reached out to you and said, Bishop, I understand what y'all going through, what can I do to help? Or are they just being silent?
What we have had is a lot of silence. There was and in fact, this is one of the great problems, is you see a lot of the so-called white evangelicals. Now, when it comes to bashing gay folk, they're as loud as anything. When it comes to talking against women's right to choose, they're as loud as anything. But when it comes to health care for people, they're silent. When it comes to speaking out on these issues, they're silent. You don't hear them. Or they might say they are against what they saw happen to George Floyd, but then they will turn around and say, but that's just one bad person. They will not own that it is systemic. They won't own that. And so there's an eerie silence. I like to say, Ricky, when it comes to many of them, they are so loud on what God says so little about and so quiet on what God says so much about.
Man, it's so crazy, man. Now, the world estimate close to 100 million people worldwide will be pushed into poverty because of COVID-19 pandemic. Now, how do you see the pandemic impact on the poor here in America?
Well, what we know with this pandemic, it exposed that America has great wounds, the wounds that are caused by racism and the wounds caused by poverty, and the pandemic exposed it. You've been to the doctor and they put that contrast dye in you to find out exactly what's wrong with you. Well, that's what this pandemic is like. It's like a contrast dye, and it just showed everything that's wrong. And the fact of the matter is, we had 140 million people in poverty before we even went into COVID, and that's 43% of this country. It's going to be over 50% after COVID. And if we don't address this issue, and we can't address this issue, we need living wages, we need health care for everyone. And don't tell us you can't do it, because we found $3 trillion for the corporations in less than 30 days when this pandemic started. But we still haven't provided living wages, adequate income, and health care for the poor. we can do this, but we have to have a change in policy. And by the way, just so you know, we are bothered, upset, mad. Everything you say about the death of George Floyd. The little girl is the hero, the one who kept her camera on. Because if that hadn't happened, we wouldn't be marching. But let's know this: 700 people die a day from poverty, and many of them are black.
So, in a related question,
die for every 500,000 people that don't have health care. Thousands of black folk die every year from poverty and the denial of health care. We're going to have to, if we're concerned about black lives, we're going to have to deal with those issues as well.
Right. So, Bishop Barber, thank you for everything. Let everybody know how you can be reached with, because I want everybody to know about the Moral March on Washington and when, where, why, all of the information. I'm sure you have it on your website. How can we reach you?
If they just go to www.june2020 for the mass Poor People's Assembly Moral March on Washington, a digital gathering. Going to be thousands of people joining us. That's www.june2020. If you want to hear black and white and brown and young and old and people from the South, people from the North standing together, marching together, yes, but also telling their stories, testifying about their problems, but then saying, here are the things we are demanding. Here are the policy changes we are demanding. Join us at www.june2020, www.june2020, and we will see you there at the digital gathering march on Washington.
Hey, much love and respect to you, Bishop William J. Barber. Thank you for everything that you do. We love you and we appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, Bishop William J. Barber. Hey, thank you, sir. We appreciate you.
Yes.
Hey, sorry about that, Eva. They was wrapping us up. I apologize. Coming up next, 8 minutes before the top of the hour, y'all, songs that will be in your head all day. Up next, you don't want to miss it, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Hey! 4 minutes after the hour, y'all, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Songs that's in your head all day. Brett! What that take you back to?
Something about the way you do.
There you go,
think your little boyfriend you was with or whatever in high school, and or when the little talent shows you did in high school, and you just tried to really sing your heart out and be Coco.
Yep.
Yes. I don't know what it is, baby. Everybody thought they could sing that song.
everybody wanted to be Coco.
Oh Lord.
Gary, do your knees get weak?
Oh Lord, they're already weak.
Leave Gary alone.
Is his internet out?
His internet weak.
Gary.
No reception.
Hello?
We got weak and passed out.
Songs that's in your head all day. 5 minutes after the hour, y'all. They got your front page and more coming up. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. All right, y'all, ladies and gentlemen, this morning we taking some time to help a mom give her son a special birthday gift. Help me welcome Miss Felicia Walker to the show. Good morning, Miss Walker.
Good morning. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. And you may recognize her son named Kenneth Walker is the boyfriend of Breonna Taylor, the Louisville, Kentucky woman who was fatally shot by police officers in her home back in March this year. And you know, we all want answers about the case. We just got finished having a conversation with Bishop Barber and Benjamin Crump about this case, and we're going to continue to push for charges to be brought against the officers involved. But that's not why Miss Felicia is here today. Miss Felicia, tell us why you're joining us this morning.
I am calling because it's my baby's birthday. He turned 28 today.
What?
Yeah.
and if anybody don't know, Kenny is the young man that was shooting back at the police because he thought somebody had broke in his house. Kenny, is he on the phone?
He's sitting right here listening to you.
All right, let me speak to him.
Hello.
Kenny.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Happy birthday to you. Come on, Brett. Yeah. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. What up, boy?
Man, I appreciate it, man. It's Black Tony in there, man.
Wait, hold on. We'll get him on the phone. Hey, somebody, let me text him right now because he ain't in here. But let me text him right now. Tell Black Tony to call in. Hey, man, he'll call in a minute. I'm texting him right now. Hey, man, happy birthday to you, 28 today.
Yes, sir.
Happy birthday.
What's up? Happy birthday.
Kay.
Hey man, we sorry that you went through everything that you went through. We're gonna try not to talk about that, man. But we just wanted to celebrate you, and I promise you, we were speaking out and we were supporting you and doing everything we can to make sure that you were straight, man. How you feeling today?
I'm doing better now that I'm talking to you, man. I appreciate all the love and support. I really do.
And we're going to get it up when I come up there. I told Ben that I was coming up there, coming to Louisville, so I'm excited about connecting with you and your mother. And God bless you for your bravery and everything that you everything that you did, man. We are proud of you for standing up to try to protect your castle or whatever. But we just glad. Are you getting a lot of support in the city?
I most definitely am. It's actually overwhelming. I can't believe it, but I most definitely appreciate it, and I love all the appreciation and support that she's getting, and she most definitely deserved it. So,
yeah. Hey, hold on 1 second. Hey, Black Tony.
Hey, cuz, what's up, son?
Hey, I text you, man. Appreciate you calling, man. Hey, man, it's my boy Kenny up in Louisville, man. He love you, man. Hey, can you say happy birthday to my boy Black Tony?
Hey, what's up, cuz? Happy birthday to you, boy. Hey, happy birthday. Boy, celebrate your birthday, son.
Yeah, man.
Real talk, boy. Drink up, you know what I'm saying? Do what it do, boy. I mean, on it. Hey, Rick.
Yeah.
Man, why you ain't never at work, Black Tony, man?
Boy, they caught me. Hey, I'm in here on the toilet stool, boy. I ate some bad gumbo from Red Lobster last night, but my stomach tore up, bro. I'm in here trying to play.
Hey, Kenny, you heard it. He say you on the toilet, Kenny.
Yeah. Yo, boy, I got them bubble good, boy. I ain't gonna lie, boy. I got them BG this morning, boy. I'm holler back at you.
Oh, my God.
Hey, Black Tony, you gonna go up there and celebrate Kenny's birthday with him, Black Tony?
Yo, where you at, son?
Man, I'm in Louisville, Kentucky.
In Louisville, yo, son, I gotta make sure I got my passport, but I come on up and I'm enjoying it.
Passport.
That's not international, Black Tony.
Oh, yeah, don't put that on the radio, son.
Hey, Black Tony, you want me to cash up you where you can get some gas, man? Drive on up there.
Yo, I just got my Escalade out the shop, boy. I got that O2 Escalade, that 5-speed shop. Some of that money so I can fill it up. I ride over there. You ain't said nothing.
Hey, Kenny, you doing something tonight, Kenny? Black Tony said he coming through.
Man, I'm a mess with him, man.
Hey, Black Tony.
As long as you got some crown apples, y'all don't know.
Hey, Kenny, go and go to the store and get that crown apple, man. That's what Black Tony on right now.
That's what we gonna do then. I'm gonna hold him to it.
No, but I don't be there. We're talking about birthday.
Hey,
don't hold your breath.
My birthday. I'm good now, man. Yeah, Black Tony didn't make my birthday.
Hey, man, we are happy to celebrate. Thank you for letting us be a part of your life. And we just want to say happy birthday to you, man. We're proud of you. We love you. We support you. We support your family and Brianna's family. So I look forward to connecting with you when me and Black Tony. I'm gonna ride with Black Tony. We coming, bro. Black Tony, I'm gonna ride with you, bro. Come pick me up.
I'm gonna hold y'all too.
Mama's gonna be cooking too. What you want to eat?
Yes, man. Some greens. Yeah, some greens and some oxtail, some macaroni and cheese, and some cornbread. That's good.
Not just a small deal. Okay, I got you though.
All right, love y'all.
All right, love you. Thank you.
All right, y'all. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Hey, it's about that time for the front page. 23 minutes after the hour. Eva got your front page. Good morning.
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, everyone. I'm Eva Marcel here with your top news stories. Over 500 people attended the 3-hour funeral service for George Floyd yesterday in Houston. Celebrities, local and national politicians were on hand to pay their respects. Joe Biden left a video message calling for racial justice, and Al Sharpton, as you know, kept it very real with those in attendance. Here's
and many that are standing and coming today and skinning and grinning in front of cameras will not be here for the long run. We must commit to to this family that until these people pay for what they did, that we're going to be there with them, because lives like George will not matter until somebody pays the cost for taking their lives.
Yeah, that was very powerful.
Yes.
Also, several states held primary elections yesterday, and there were so many voting issues in Georgia that the state officials are calling for now an investigation. Now, also in Georgia, the 2 black officers who were fired the stun guns on 2 college students during the protest have filed a lawsuit, Ricky, against the mayor and the police chief of Atlanta, saying that they were fired without proper investigation. In other
that's
news,
one of the things in Special K and police reform. They need to change some of the laws. They need to change those contracts. If a police do something or assault somebody or kill somebody, they could be fired on the spot or whatever, because they kill somebody. The victim don't get their due date before you beat them up.
The investigation was the video of them abusing the kids. That's the investigation right there.
Right.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that our people are marching about. So as in what they're talking about doing defunding, and stuff and making changes, that's got to be one of those changes, because if people are going to do what they want to do if they're not held accountable for their actions.
Absolutely. They have to be held accountable. Speaking of being held accountable, Trump is at it again, tweeting a conspiracy theory that 75-year-old white protester who was pushed on the ground by the police, well, he's saying that was a part of a staged setup, while the man is still hospitalized with a severe head injury.
He about as stupid as Candace Owens. I don't even know why people even give them that kind of attention and sharing their videos and stuff like that, man. Everybody know that man is an idiot. That man been a racist idiot for years. But America wanted something different or whatever. He ran his whole campaign off of trying to discredit Barack Obama's legitimacy and stuff.
Absolutely.
And that just show you where America is, because you know what I'm saying, is if you against racism, that means that you're against being an American. That's how deeply embedded racism is in this country. So when you protest racism, it seems like you're protesting America.
That's what America is.
You're right. So
and last but not least, I have to remind you guys, amid all these protests and things that we're doing out here for social change, the coronavirus is still here. 14 states have recorded record high numbers of new cases, and at least 28 states are not following CDC guidelines for reporting, which could make it harder for health experts and lawmakers to decide what to do next. So in the meantime, listen to the Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Stay safe, wash your hands, wear your mask, wear your gloves, cover your eyes. Do all your precautionary measures, you guys. The pandemic has not gone away. All right, that was a quick look at your headline news. For more on these stories, log on to the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.com. Rock T, what is going on in sports?
Well, let's start off with Houston Rockets star Russell Westbrook. He will be producing a new docuseries about the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre. It will be titled Terror in Tulsa, The Rise and Fall of Black Wall Street. NASCAR star Bubba Wallace, the only African-American driver at the NASCAR's highest level, is calling for an official ban on the Confederate flag at all racetracks. Matter of fact, he's also going to be racing his new Black Lives Matter paint design on his number 43 race car, which includes a black and white hand interlocking on the hood of the car. So the car actually looks kind of dope. I kind of like that bad boy. So big up to Bubba Wallace for standing up and representing that right there. Brad,
damn rednecks don't throw a banana peel out on that racetrack and slide.
So
spinning like Dale Elliott.
Not a banana peel.
Took the goddamn flag down. I tell you what, you throw this damn banana peel out there and you spin out, you son of a.
So you saying he ain't gonna make it through the whole race?
They're gonna throw a banana peel out there on that track when his car come by, and he gonna start spinning. Boy, you talking about That's bold. Listen, you ever pass by the track on Highway 20 driving to Atlanta? You see them big ass Confederate flags off of Highway 20?
Yep.
And right there by the damn Talladega 500. Boy, I don't get off now one of those exits. Ever. They got a damn general store driving from Atlanta to Birmingham with that big ass Confederate flag general store. Those are exits that black people know not to get off. If your tire and the air go out of your tire, I don't give a damn if you run. I done seen black people run out of gas right by the exit and they car made it to the next exit. The car was like,
The car was like,
I'll make it to the next exit. If I can get to that damn, I done seen cars make it all the way from Birmingham to Atlanta to that damn quick. They made it to the quick trip in Douglasville.
What the car say?
I said, hell no, I'm not getting out there. Yeah, can't. They racist in Anderson too. Black folks don't be fooling around in Anderson. Boy, you better.
You jump off, get that gas, and get right back on.
Yes, sir. Don't you stop between. If you drive from Birmingham to Atlanta, you stop at Anderson and get you some gas. Maybe Pearl City, but damn it, you better get to Douglasville. You safe. Yes, sir. I'm not playing. Big ass Confederate flag.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
So hot, You can catch me at the hot spot. It's the BR18.
I was driving down to Mobile, Alabama. I saw a Confederate flag so big on the side of the road. When they sent up the space challenge in the space, they said that's the only flag that you can see from outer space. That big ass Confederate flag that's on Highway 65 in between Montgomery and Mobile. Boy, let me tell you something. These rednecks ain't playing in the South. Don't come down here. Well, I don't care where y'all at. All over the country. Chicago, don't come down here.
Don't come down.
Which one I got, Dave? Hey, this segment is being brought to you by Walgreens. That's right, man. Now, we all know that summer may look different this year, and Walgreens is making it easier for you to find deals with their new ways to shop. Now, this summer, shop online, in-store, or get select essentials delivered with Postmates. See Walgreens.com for details. Walgreens. What up, Brett?
What up, Ricky? Good morning, everybody. I'm your girl, Brett Tat, and this is the Hot Spot, where we bring you music, movies, and more. So, Niecy Nash, she's in When They See Us and a few other things that we all love. Her son, she shared the story of when he got pulled over by the police, and they pulled their tasers out on him. She said, my son got stopped leaving my house Sunday, and they pulled the taser on him for a rolling stop, and then proceeded to ask him, you have a T-Mobile shirt on. Do you work there? Because if you do, how do you afford this car? Because this is 2020, she told the Hollywood Reporter. She said they don't know if he was a manager. They don't know if he was the owner. They don't know if he had a rich mama. But what they probably felt like was, how's this young black boy getting a car like this, and I don't even have one? And we finna make you suffer for it, is what she said. Then she offered some advice. She said, my suggestion is you need to ask non-black people what they can do. Don't call on one more black person to ask them nothing about nothing. You call on the white people and ask them what they could do, because black people by definition can be racist because we're not the ones in power.
Wow. That's deep.
Yeah, that is kind of deep. All right, y'all, moving on. This FedEx fool gets suspended for disgustingly imitating George Floyd's homicide in front of a Black Lives Matter protest. He's a FedEx employee. And the stunt could cost him his job. It should cost him more than his job, but I'm not going to even say all that. You like head go, but you ain't heard it from me. Sources say James DeMarco is one of the men seen in the video marking Floyd's death Monday as protesters marched past him in Franklin Township, New Jersey, and he's been suspended from work pending the investigation. And the honchos at FedEx said the behavior depicted in the video, which involved the FedEx employee, is appalling and offensive. All his duties will be suspended while investigating and concluding all internal procedures that are followed. So they said they're a diverse and inclusive workforce that's at the heart of business, and they stand for those who support justice and equality. So that's what's happening with him. If y'all look at the picture of him, he looked like he talked just like you was talking, Ricky. Get your darn ass up out of here. I don't want to see you black people. I don't like nothing black. I don't like black coffee, black old Texas tea. I don't like nothing. Get on the, like, that's what he looks like. It is a disgusting picture.
Lives matter.
Let me take a breath. To get caught up on those stories and more, you can go to RickySmileyMorningShow.com. I'm your girl, Brad Tat. That's going to conclude the hot spot. Coming up next, we got Chef Jannard Wells and the Praise Mixdown, y'all. It is 27 before the top of the hour.
All right, y'all, ladies and gentlemen, y'all give it up and show your love for the one and only Chef Jannard.
Chef Jannard.
What up, man?
Man, I'm feeling good. We're in a jump hump day right now.
I know that's right, man. I know you got something today because them crab claws look really good yesterday.
Man, I made them last night.
What?
See,
yes, that sauce with the tomatoes was everything.
Okay.
What you got today?
Man, today I got a Nashville hot roasted chicken for you. See, everybody, when they going for the Nashville hot, they always think we got to go fried. But like I said, we can have our cake and eat it too. We got to go over the top, roast that bad boy in the oven on 375 for 1 hour. And what you do when you make the Nashville hot sauce that goes over it, normally you'll use vegetable oil, but I flipped it up, kept it a little more health conscious. We using olive oil with our smoked paprika, chili powder, brown sugar, bringing all those spices in just right. Crisp that skin up in the oven, pour that sauce over it. Man, I'm talking about that's some fight music right there.
Chef, who is paprika?
Smoked paprika. Smoked paprika be your best friend when you're cooking with it in the kitchen. It's that red powder. A lot of people think it don't have a strong taste, but it's really subtle. It's just designed to open up the palate so you can taste all the other flavors of everything else that you bring in.
That's what the hell.
We've been saying it wrong the whole time. We always say paprika.
Yeah, yeah, that's how we say it.
You, Rock.
Paprika. We pamping it, but no, it's paprika.
Wow. So what kind of size would you recommend with this dish?
Man, you know, normally I always think when you can do some good collard greens, you can do some potato salad with it, some coleslaw. You know, you don't have to go over. And then if you just want to do a nice green one, I always like doing like some sugar snap peas with it. Just something, nothing really just over the top, but just something just to balance it out. Because really, when you eat Nashville hot chicken, it's traditionally served over top of white bread with some pickles on the side of it.
That's what they got. It's some white bread with some pickles on it. And where can we find the video?
Man, you can find the video at Rickey Smiley's official page on Facebook. And they got to make sure they check me out at Chef Jannard on Instagram because I'm keeping it coming for them.
There it is. All right, y'all. There it is, Rickey Smiley Morning Show.